Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with The Nation newspaper. The major story here: 16 states to Supreme Court bar EFCC, NFIU from probing our accounts. Law on anti-graft agency defective. Apex Court fixes October the 22nd for hearing. Another story here quickly. Oba of Benin asks Okpebolo to fulfill campaign promises in Edo. And the story here says Wike blames violence on Fubara's refusal to obey court. Governor set up commission of inquiry. Depositors' funds safe in banks, says CBN. At the top corner there, a sad story: 5 dead, 15 rescued in Lagos boat's accident, vessel not registered. $50 billion investment coming to oil sector, says Lukobiri. Policies attracted investors. Abure is Labour Party chair, court rules. Council boss, Lagos Assembly clash over indefinite suspension. Lagos rejects order on VIO. Some stories on the front page of The Nation newspaper. We move to the front page of the Blueprint newspaper now. Kogi, Anambra, Katsina, Cross River, 12 others move against EFCC Act. Approach Supreme Court to void agency's power to arrest, probe funds management. Hearing fixed for October the 22nd. Labour Party crisis deepens as court affirms Abure national chairman. Caretaker committee vows appeal. Party chair begs Obi. Another story here. US $50 billion investments underway for Nigeria's oil industry in November. Lukobiri is quoted as saying. Another news here: Cameroon's President Paul Biya in good health, says government. There were reports that circulated yesterday saying he had passed. Well, those are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. To the platform Times now. Kogi, Ogun, Oyo, 13 others ask Supreme Court to scrap EFCC. Another story here. We paid 4 billion naira to relocate 195 students from war-torn Sudan to India, Cyprus. Jigawa government is quoted as saying that. Dangote, Nigeria, poised to lead Africa's refining industry, saving $17 billion in fuel import. PDP crisis over if Atiku dumps presidential ambition. Wike pledges peace. PDP crisis over if Atiku dumps presidential ambition. Wike pledges peace. Party chief is quoted as saying that. And at the corner there, good luck, Jonathan, wife never made me politically. That's what the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, is quoted as saying. And he's also quoted as saying that he has no apology for working against the PDP in 2023. Some stories on the front page of the platform Times. We move now to the Daily Independent. 16 states ask Supreme Court to declare EFCC unconstitutional. And Tinubu vows to leverage technologies to boost transparency, efficiency. And Senate asks for increased budgetary allocations to universities, say it would tackle brain drain, infrastructural decay, others. Rivers local government poll: those who burn secretariats must be held to account, Fubara vows. Raises commission to probe arson killing at council headquarters. New Rivers CP vows to tackle crisis in councils, restore peace. And those are some stories on the front page of the Daily Independent. To this Nigeria newspaper now. Rivers State, allow rule of law to prevail for peace to reign. Wike tells Fubara, says no decent person would support destruction. And then we have this story. 21 feared dead, 11 rescued as boats collide in Lagos. A sad one there. Now, Senate urges federal government to end brain drain, increase budgetary allocation to universities. As Supreme Court to hear 16 state governments suit on EFCC Act, October the 22nd. Those are some of the major stories you find on the front page of this Nigeria newspaper. And to the Vanguard newspaper now, still talking about development coming out of Rivers State. Arson, oil output in rivers threatened if, as Fubara being quoted there, Fubara, architect of Rivers crisis, Nyesom Wike, is quoted as saying, says arsonists will account for setting local government headquarters ablaze, vows culprits will be fished out, swears in BP, 3 others as commissioners. Rivers government constitutes 7-man judicial commission into arsonists' attacks. The Christ government's penchant for disobeying court orders set to challenge judicial panel of inquiry. And court orders INEC to recognize Abure as Labour Party's national chairman. Now, flooding dredge rivers Niger, Benue now, said it tells Tinubu. Another story here. VIO restriction, Abuja court judgment not applicable in Lagos government. To soldiers, village head son, others killed in Boko Haram ambush. A sad one there. Edoguba, again, INEC denies PDP Ighodalo access to Beaver's other poll items, state government. Let's go to the saying. Some stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. To the Daily Times, still talking about Rivers crisis, Fubara vows to bring arsonists to book as new CP assumes duty. Public Complaints Commission plans desks in 36 states, Federal Capital Territory over poor electricity. Some stories on the front page of the Daily Times. And to the Nigerian News Direct, peace will reign only when, Wike is quoted as saying, says Fubara invited anarchy to Rivers by disobeying court order as Rivers gets new CP amidst unrest. Fubara vows to punish perpetrators. That's a major story on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. Olamide.
Well, I begin here with Nigeria Tribune, and the big story here is still on Rivers State. Obeying the rule of law will avert anarchy, Wike says. Fubara sets up 7-man panel to probe arson killings. Mixed reactions trail Rivers conflicting court orders. Court affirms Abure's Labour Party national chairman. Judgment on VIO restrictions not applicable in Lagos State. Moi threatens to terminate RCC contract, says palliative work to begin on Shagamu-Ijebu-Ode Road on Monday. 15 states join Kogi to challenge EFCC Act. Supreme Court fixes October 22nd for hearing. Another story here says Jabba Dam is currently spilling excess water. Federal government issues fresh alert on flood. Some stories on the front page of Nigeria Tribune. To the New Telegraph, Fubara must obey court judgment on local government election. Wike says Rivers residents should hold the governor responsible for the distractions. Accuses Atiku of supporting disobedience of court judgment. Fubara constitutes judicial panel to probe violence, whereas in 4 commissioners. The Supreme Court to hear governor's suit challenging EFCC's legality October 22nd. The government should understand its policies causing Nigerians pain. Adebayo says. Another story here says we received 305,300 human rights violation complaints. That's according to the National Human Rights Commission. Jagba menace increased tertiary institutions budget in 2025 to stem brain drain. Senate tells the federal government Nigerians should put the country over financial gain. The Senate president is saying. And a story here says too much caffeine can be bad for heart health. Some stories on the front page of the New Telegraph. To the Salient Times. Labour begs the federal government not to give workers' salary to the local government. Proposes audit of local government workers, retirees, want embargo on employment for a year. Both mishap claims 21 lives in Lagos State, 11 rescued. Shatima unveils framework for federal government's nationwide nutrition program. Some stories on the front page of the Salient Times. To The Guardian, anxiety as federal government commits state funds to special development commissions. Abuja court judgment on VIO inapplicable in Lagos, the government declares. The federal government unveils national values charter for nationhood patriotism. These are the major stories on the front page of The Guardian. Let's go to the first news. Jackpot trends place law for Nigeria both financial gains. Akpabio urges Nigerians. Abure Peter Obi following court victory unite the Labour Party. The federal government approves Dangote refinery as exclusive supply of jet fuel for Nigeria's airlines. Fubara is architect of violence in Rivers State. Wike says no apologies for not supporting Atiku in the 2023 election. On the Voice of Liberty this morning, 3 federal government agencies spent 533 billion naira in revenue collection in 7 months. Melikari NNPCL under fire over $2 billion but hackers refinery projects. 21 fare dead in Lagos as 2 boats collide in the lagoon. Nigerians may pay 10 million naira as Tinubu government ends subsidy on the 2025 Hajj. Some stories on the front page of the Voice of Liberty. So the Daily Trust, cholera-related deaths rise as Lagos, Jigawa, Kano lead in casualties. 10,837 suspected cases recorded nationwide in 9 months. 359 die in 21 states. And CDC blames rainfall, open defecation. Experts prefer solution. Bandits kill abducted Kebbi district head, operatives rescue 8. The major stories on the front page of the Daily Trust. To The Punch, marketers to begin direct Dangote petrol purchase. New pump price looms as national oil firm moves to dump 99 billion naira monthly subsidy. Let's go to the Business Times. How Nigeria can become net exporter of petroleum products. Dangote says, laments that despite producing over 3.4 million barrels of crude oil per day, Africa imports around 3 million barrels of petroleum products daily. And finally, on the Sporting Live, Operation Crush Libya, 20 Eagles player partake in a first training session. In Acho Juke Osai Samuel arrived today. Second training session holds 5 p.m. today. The major stories on the front page of the newspapers this morning, Veronica.
All right. I believe that our viewers have been updated. We'll move on swiftly now. Up next,